Back in the home studios, we've got a loaded show for you this morning. Former Justice Margaret Workman stops by. We'll tell you about an achievement for nurses at CAMC and cybersecurity. Plus, we'll talk basketball. It's MetroNews Talkline. We are underway.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded.
We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the MetroNews Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is MetroNews Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set line up link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Q Dave and TJ. You're on. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Good morning. Welcome inside the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave Wilson in Morgantown. TJ is in Charleston. Zach Link is our video producer. Zach Link. I just combined Zach Karolchek and Jake Link and came up with Zach Link. Zach Karolchek is our producer this morning, and Sophia Wasik is handling the radio side of things. If you're listening in on one of our great radio affiliates across the state, of course, you can watch the show on the MetroNews TV app, Facebook Live, and YouTube as well. Multiple ways you can be part of the show at 304-TALK-304. That's the text line. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. Joe Bricado will come up a little bit later on. We'll put a bow on the boys basketball tournament. That wrapped up on Saturday. We'll talk WV women's basketball as well. They'll play Kentucky later on today. Let me say good morning to my counterpart in Charleston, TJ Allen, this morning. Good morning,
Wow.
TJ Meadows. I'm sorry. Nobody should ever. That was a deep dig there. I apologize.
Is that the AI version of Dave Allen and myself, TJ Allen? Is that what you get?
You know what? You just gave me an idea for later this afternoon when I'm bored.
Okay, well, gee, I look forward to seeing what comes of that time misspent. I'll put it that way. I got to tell you, man, market loves that we've got this, 5-day pause on bombing the energy assets, power plants in Iraq. Dow's up 800 points, NASDAQ up 4, S&P up 116. Oil coming down, so the market likes what it's hearing. But you juxtapose that against what Iranian TV is reporting. They say there was no talk. So who do you believe there, Trump or the Iranians? But the market believes Trump. There you go.
And I didn't catch all the president's comments. I was kind of, in between, studio office and all that stuff. But he seems to, again, be saying everything and nothing at all at the same time, right? We've reached major agreements, but there's no deal without strict nuclear sanctions or considerations there. So what did he say? I don't know. All I know is we've got a 5-day pause, and the markets love it, TJ, like you pointed out.
In the same press conference, he said, we've not heard from the supreme leader. He also said there would be regime change, which I think is new. I don't think he had said that before, but so he's loaded up, planes moving. He's off to Memphis, taking off as we speak from Palm Beach. So there you go. But the markets like it. I tend to say when everything's confused, go with the wisdom of the market, and that's where we are.
We will continue to follow that throughout the morning and the week, of course, as the latest evolves there in the Middle East. Over the weekend, I believe it was on Friday, the story was first published by Country Roads News. Dan Parks, the reporter, the Speaker of the West Virginia House of Delegates, Attorney Roger Hanshaw, has signed on to represent the developer of a controversial data center project in Tucker County. Hanshaw works for Bowles Rice, a prominent Charleston law firm. Hanshaw and 2 other Bowles Rice attorneys informed the Intermediate Court of Appeals of West Virginia that they represent Fundamental Data, the company incorporated in Delaware that's seeking to build a large power plant in Tucker County to provide electricity for a large number of data centers. Joining us on MetroNews Talkline is the aforementioned Dan Parks, Country Roads News. Dan, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Let me actually turn you up there, Dan. Dan, good morning.
Good morning. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on. So how did you come across this, that Speaker Hanshaw and the firm he works for, Bowles Rice, was representing Fundamental Data?
There are a lot of folks watching what's going on with the data project here in Tucker County, West Virginia, and there's been legal action. There's been a regulatory filing that favored Fundamental Data, the data center developer, and there are local groups that are opposing that regulatory approval. They're filing court cases, and so of course, when things are in court, there's a public record of it. And somebody, I'm not going to say who, but somebody who is involved or has inside knowledge of the court proceedings alerted me that the court had been notified that the Roger Hanshaw and two other attorneys with Bowles Rice, his firm, are now going to be representing Fundamental Data in their courtroom actions going forward.
Dan, is this a legal or an ethical question? How do we draw the line?
Well, I think it can be both. West Virginia, like a lot of states and the federal government, frankly, they have ethics rules and guidelines that can be very fuzzy, hard to figure out what's actually legal and what's not legal. As far as I can tell, and other ethics experts who have looked at West Virginia's ethics rules, this is not illegal. That does, of course, raise the question of whether it's the right thing to do or an okay thing to do.
Talking to Dan Parks, Country Roads News, his story, Speaker Roger Hanshaw, as his day job as an attorney representing Fundamental Data. What's the concern from folks there in Tucker County? Obviously, this has been very controversial since this project was announced. Locals, we've talked to several locals there over the course of the last year. There's a lot of opposition. So what's the concern in Tucker County now that folks know House Speaker Roger Hanshaw is also an attorney representing this Fundamental Data?
Yeah, I do want to point out that there are some local folks who favor this development, who are interested in the construction and other jobs that the development might bring, and how many jobs that would be, of course, is another entire subject of great division and debate. But yes, the opposition to this project in Tucker County is substantial and well organized. And they are concerned that, frankly, that they're not going to get a fair shake. They sort of feel like the machinery of the state, from the governor on down, the governor very much wants to make West Virginia a data center friendly state through all sorts of deregulation and tax advantages. And so far, the opponents to the data center have lost their efforts to get regulators to take a closer look at whether this facility would be safe, because the facility includes a large power plant that would be built very close to the towns of Davis and Thomas. So the opponents of this facility feel like they are just being steamrolled, and I think this is just another sign to them of that happening.
Dan, we're structured in West Virginia to have a citizen legislature. We do not have a full-time legislature. The speaker, however, is more of I don't want to say it's a full-time position, but there's many more hours, and it's a year-round pursuit. I was looking, we paid Roger Hanshaw, we being the state of West Virginia, just shy of $49,000 last year. Now, that would pale in comparison, I'm sure, to his earning power as an attorney, especially at a firm like Bowles Rice. Have we somehow backed ourselves into this position? Do these kinds of occurrences mandate that perhaps we have a full-time speaker who perhaps is compensated better to avoid these kinds of potential conflicts of interest?
Yes, I mean, you can certainly make that point. You can't expect somebody, making less than $50,000 a year, especially, and I think most legislators are making about half of that. Mm-hmm. The speaker gets more. You can't expect someone to really raise a family on that, especially for the, I know some people can on 50,000. I don't want to undermine that, but it's not a lot of money, and most legislators in the state of West Virginia do have to do other work, have to or want to, and it just does. It's a relatively small state, especially population-wise. Bowles Rice is a very big law firm. It would be very hard for Mr. Hanshaw to work at a firm like Bowles Rice and not be involved with projects that are the subject of legislation in the state. So yes, having a part-time legislative body and with part-time pay does create a set of issues here.
We're talking to Dan Sparks of Country Roads News. He posted the article on, I believe it was Friday, Speaker Hanshaw and the firm he works for, Bowles Rice, representing Fundamental Data. Dan, as far as, again, back to TJ's question, is it legal, is it ethical, are there carve-outs or is there specific code that allows members of the House of Delegates to be involved in private business and avoid conflicts of interest and still serve their districts or, in this particular instance, in a leadership role?
Yeah, in the House of Delegates, lawmakers are not supposed to vote on anything that would directly impact them financially. Now, there's an exception for any form of business or entity that there could be 5 or more of them in the state. There are or could be 5 or more of them in the state. So, in other words, if there are or could be 5 or more data center developments in the state of West Virginia, under West Virginia, ethics rules, that's deemed as sort of a broad enough benefit that lawmakers don't have to recuse themselves. And, that covers a very broad array of legislation. So it's really, ethics watchdogs have called it a blatant loophole that you can drive almost anything through.
Dan, your experience is among, spread across a number of publications. You worked for Bloomberg. You've covered a lot of stories all across the country. I'm curious, in your reporting career, have you ever run across something similar to this in another state? And I'm curious if there are lessons learned there or ways that other states mitigated these kinds of concerns.
Yeah, I was just thinking back when you were talking about Trump and trying to figure out what he was saying. I was thinking back to my time on, working on Capitol Hill and having my editors, ask me what is the point? What is this person trying to get at? And I didn't envy the two of you trying to figure out what exactly is the point that's being made day to day or hour to hour, minute by minute. But anyway, I think there are some similarities and some differences. I've never come across any sort of ethical guidelines that are this loose, shall we say. So that's a little different. This seems like it would be very hard to find an issue on which a legislator in the state of West Virginia would recuse themselves, would have to recuse themselves. And in fact, the law in West Virginia actually, it makes it very hard for members of the legislature to recuse themselves. They have to ask for permission, which is granted by the Speaker of the House. That is a very, very loose ethical environment. But I will say it's, it's a difference of degree, not of kind. Ethical requirements and disclosure requirements are, I would say, too loose. As an advocate of transparency, I would say they're too loose, at the federal level and probably in most states nationwide.
He's Dan Parks. You can read his story with Country Roads News. Dan, give the website where people can actually read this story for themselves.
Yeah, it's at countryroads.news, not .com, countryroads.news.
Countryroads.news. You can read the story there. Dan, keep us posted. We appreciate it. Good job.
We'll stay on it. Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. We'll get some of your thoughts. We have thoughts. We'll share those next.
At Glenville State University, we are pioneers. With over 45 undergraduate degree programs, 17 NCAA athletic teams, and countless campus organizations and activities, we're here to help you build your story while becoming a part of ours. Glenville State University. Your dream, your future, your story. Visit glenville.edu today for more information.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZMM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZMM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
Golf Week called Pete Dye Golf Club one of America's best modern courses. Golf Digest recently called Pete Dye one of America's 100 greatest courses, and Pete Dye calls it 18 of the most exciting and memorable holes I've ever built on one course. Pete Dye Golf Club invites you to join the only course named after the legendary designer himself. National, corporate, and local memberships available now for a limited time. Visit PeteDye.com to learn more. Come play where the Mountaineers play at Pete Dye Golf Club.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Across West Virginia, hospitals are always here, healing, helping, and standing strong for our communities. Hospitals save lives and build livelihoods. They're among our largest employers, with a passionate workforce of 54,000 West Virginians. Hospitals are economic drivers, contributing close to $17 billion to our state's economy and working to ensure access to care for all. From life-saving moments to wellness support, West Virginia hospitals keep our state healthy, our families strong, and our future bright.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
It all comes down to this in Charleston. The 2026 West Virginia Boys High School Basketball State Championships presented by Chick-fil-A. Saturday, March 21st. Every possession, every roar of the crowd, every championship moment. Live on MetroNews Television, powered by GoMart. Watch on mobile, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Details at WVMetroNewsTV.com to get in the action.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304 Talk 304, that is the text line. Your opportunity to weigh in. You can give us a call, 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. What do you make of it all, TJ?
Here's the thing. I know Roger Hanshaw, I will say, decently well. I don't know him extremely well. I've interviewed him a number of times. I believe him to be a good man. I believe him to be an honest man, and I believe him to be an honorable man. The optics may not look the best. With that said, I'm sure this has happened time and time and time again with attorneys in various seats in the legislature. We're a small state. You are going to have these instances because we are a small state. It looks to me, and look, I think Dan's piece is fair. There were some folks criticizing, why are you poking at this? It's a fair piece. It's a well-done piece. I do not think you are ever going to be able to get around this just because of the associations in the small states. And frankly, we don't pay enough. I mean, here's a guy that put in the time. He's a PhD in chemistry. He has a law degree. We're paying him $50,000 a year. And I'm not knocking $50,000 a year, but you're not going to, it's hard to get a full-time guy for $50,000 a year. It was reported to the ICA. It's public. No one's trying to hide it. And the remedy for this, if voters don't like it in Clay County, they have a remedy for that at the ballot box. If other folks in the state don't like it, they have a remedy. Tell their elected legislator not to vote for Roger Hanshaw for speaker. They have a remedy. That's the way I see it. I don't know how you fix this.
Let me add to that, TJ, and I tend to agree with most of what you said there. We want lawmakers, we've talked about this before on the show, we want lawmakers who understand business, who are successful in business, successful in their professional lives, have an understanding of the law, have an understanding of business, have an understanding of finances. We want all of this. And if that's the type of lawmaker you want, well, you're going to have lawmakers who are successful in business. And they're not going to just step aside from whatever their profession is to become full-time law. We don't have full-time lawmakers. Quite frankly, I don't think we want them either, TJ.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you.
For that matter. So, yes, we're a small state. You're going to see these things come up. You are going to have instances where a lawmaker is going to be an attorney, maybe representing a client, or in a business, and they're going to have to deal with something legislatively there as well. Does it make me raise an eyebrow? Sure. I thought the piece by Dan was fair, pointing out when it happened, what happened, and this was filed on March 16th, so he wasn't representing them last year when House Bill 2014 was approved. Does it make me raise an eyebrow? Sure it does. Does it appear as everything's on the up and up from where I sit? Yeah, I think it is. I understand where the folks in Tucker County are coming from, though, TJ. If you do not want to see this project move forward and you're just Johnny on the street trying to push back, and you're fighting the state government, you're fighting this big corporation, and now the leader of the House of Delegates is the attorney representing him. I can see certainly where folks in Tucker County feel like the deck is stacked against them and would be upset to learn this information.
No, that's completely fair as well. You talk about that position, though, and I think a Senate president is another one that you get into this territory. How many hours in the off season does a Randy Smith or a Roger Hanshaw have to spend at the Capitol? It's significant. And in the case of Hanshaw, attorneys do billable hours. How many billable hours does he forego because he's on state business? So I'm fairly confident in saying, yes, it's public service. I'm sure he's glad to do it. I'm sure it's a financial disincentive to his overall earning power. It is what it is. And until we either have a full-time legislature, which I don't think we want, ask our friends in Ohio how that's working out for them. They have a full-time legislature that meets year-round over there. You are going to have these issues, and as long as it's brought into the light, I think that is the important thing. It was disclosed, reporter picked it up. That is the process. That's the way it should work. People have the information. They can decide.
Let me toss this at you.
Go.
Bowles Rice is not a small, two-man law firm here. Bowles Rice is a big firm, multiple offices across the state. Does Hanshaw have a responsibility, though, to take a step back and go, boss, I understand why you want me on this, want me representing this company. It's optically, this is going to be bad. It may be a gray area ethically for me. I respectfully decline. Maybe you did, and the boss says no. I don't know what that situation was, but do you have a responsibility if you want to be also a public servant and maintain your professional bona fides there? Do you have a responsibility to say, that one I can't get on board with that one?
Maybe you do, but practically then our best and our brightest are not going to run for office.
Right.
In another life, I actually sat on the Legislative Pay Commission, the group that gets together like every 4 or 5 years, whatever it is, and recommends what legislators should be paid. This last go around, we actually said, look, you ought to pay them significantly more. And the reason is you want more people to be able to be involved in the process. And if you want more people and you want better people, you have to pay them a wage that's commensurate with their effort. And look, $22,000, it's not nothing, but it's not money either. I mean, it's based on the effort. You got to do something else, put it that way.
Well, to your point there, if you want the best and the brightest under the Capitol Dome for 60 days a year, at the very least, you can't restrict what has made them the best and the brightest in their fields, right?
Yeah. And look, this is opinion, Dave. This is going to strike people different ways.
Sure.
So I don't begrudge anybody for disagreeing with me, but that's what I know from my market experience is just that. If you want the best and the brightest, you're going to have to pay for it.
304-TALK 304. That's the text line. You can share your thoughts. You can also give us a call at 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. We'll get to those coming up. Other side of the news break, the nursing staff down at CAMC, Charleston Area Medical Center, has been honored and rewarded for their efforts. We'll tell you about that coming up. Other side of the break. This is Talkline from the Cove Insurance Studios on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It's 10:30. Let's get an update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Jeff Jenkins. It'll be Gold Rush this evening in Morgantown when the WVU women's basketball team will play in front of a home crowd again, this time against Kentucky in the second round of the NCAA women's basketball tournament. Mountaineers coach Mark Kellogg says he's glad the season continues at least for one more game.
And advancing in the tournament, that's obviously one of the goals is to continue and play. And even as a coach, it's just to get to game plan again and let them hang around each other and have another meal or two together. I mean, that's what this is a lot about.
The winner this evening gets Texas next weekend in Fort Worth. Governor Patrick Morrisey will be making more decisions this week on dozens of bills that continue to arrive on his desk that were passed by state lawmakers in the final days of the legislative session. Morrisey has 15 days to make decisions on bills after they come to him when lawmakers have left town. One of those bills deals with a number of child care issues. Amy Jo Hutchison's with the group's Moms Rising, and they want Morrissey to sign that bill.
This opens up a whole new world for West Virginia working families. Now we don't have to be afraid to accept a pay raise or more hours because we're afraid that we're going to lose our child care assistance immediately. So, I mean, I think just the benefits from this bill alone, I think it'll take us a while for them all to fully set in.
Read more about the bill at WV-MetroNews.com. A Boone County man's in custody charged with first-degree murder after a weekend shooting. State police say 60-year-old Jerry Hills of Bob White shot and killed 49-year-old Terry Rowe of Gordon. You're listening to Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Worried about paying for college? Metro News is proud to present the 19th annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to WVMetroNews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
Now showing on Metro News Television, your friends at Hope Gas and Greer Industries present State of Minds. Tony Caridi talks with world champion lumberjack Arden Koger.
What my father taught me was the importance of hard work and the importance of sweat equity.
State of Minds, now showing on Metro News TV. Presented by Hope Gas and Greer Industries, only on the Metro News Television app.
It's turning colder today in West Virginia, but snow is not in the forecast. Salt supplies ran dangerously low in some cities in a recently completed winter, including in Huntington. Mayor Patrick Farrell says the DOH came through for them.
We didn't run out of salt. We ran low on salt because we had such a great state partner, the Department of Highways, that loaned us some. Not an ideal position to be in, not a position any of us wanted to, but because we have a great relationship with the state, they came to our aid.
From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Jeff Jenkins.
We'll get to your texts coming up next segment, 304 Talk 304. You can call us at 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. Vandalia Health Charleston Area Medical Center has achieved Magnet designation from the American Nurses Credentialing Center's Magnet Recognition Program, the highest national honor for nursing excellence, considered the gold standard of nursing. To put it into journalism standards, TJ, this is like the Pulitzer Prize for nurses. Joining us on Metro News Talkline this morning is the CAMC Chief Nursing Officer, Heidi Edwards. Heidi, good morning and congratulations.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
Is that a fair description? This is like the Pulitzer Prize of nursing?
It is the highest honor that nursing can receive, yes.
So how do you achieve this recognition?
Well, you achieve this recognition through a lot of dedication and hard work, but it's not. While it's a nursing designation, it really does reflect the culture of the entire organization. It looks at everything from obviously how your nurses practice in the environment they practice in, but that means how they work with their providers, how they work with their allied health members, how they interact with and get support from administration. So it really takes the whole package to be able to achieve Magnet, and it doesn't happen by accident.
I think I read something like 10% of hospitals, not a lot of hospitals, have this recognition. When you talk about going after this award, I mean, is that something that you back into and because of your excellence you get it? Or was this something you were goal setting toward, you wanted to get, and you created your program around that goal? Yeah,
you stated it very well. It is goal setting. It is something where it's a framework. So, when we initially made the decision to go to Magnet, it's not for the award. The award is the ultimate achievement. But the goal was to provide the most supportive environment for nurses to practice, where they have autonomy, where they have opportunities for professional development, where they practice at the highest level as nurses. And so in doing that, Magnet provides that framework for everything from how you lead to how nurses practice, for how they practice research, do quality improvement, and all the things that they're engaged in. And so what we initially do is lay out the roadmap. Where are we doing very well? Where do we know we have what we need? And then where are there areas where we have opportunities and we know we're going to need to grow? And from there, you set your path. So again, it takes a series of, for us, it took years and to get to where we are today.
Talking to Heidi Edwards. She is Chief Nursing Officer for Vandalia Health Charleston Area Medical Center. Heidi, at the end of the day, it's all about patient care. So how do patients benefit from CMAC achieving this status?
So that's honestly the biggest reason why we do this, right? From a nursing perspective, we're interested in the care of our patients and how we can improve. And what is known is by following that framework and demonstrating that nursing excellence, you're going to have a higher patient satisfaction, better communication with your patients. That in the end results in better outcomes, lower mortality, and lower failure to rescue rates, higher job satisfaction amongst your nurses. Taking care of our nurses also means taking care of our patients better and improving their outcomes in the environment, and ultimately providing that patient-centered care that we all strive for.
Every time I speak with someone from the healthcare industry, they talk about the nursing shortage. Can you parlay this award into a way to recruit more and more nurses to CAMC?
Well, certainly, from a nursing perspective, if you're looking for an organization, you're weighing all of the things that are going to make a difference for you where you work. So working in an organization that has been deemed magnet status means that you already know that supportive environment from nursing exists. And so certainly from a recruitment standpoint, that's a huge asset for us as well.
We're talking to Heidi Edwards. She's Chief Nursing Officer, CMAC. Heidi, oftentimes it's the nurses who have the most contact with patients, and having had some grandparents in the hospital over the last several years, they know the nurses. There's a different bond there, isn't there, between the patients and the nurses and the families of the patients in the hospital there?
Absolutely. So, that's the first relationship. It's the person from a patient perspective. You see and you meet lots of people throughout your journey through the hospital, but the nurse is the one that is there 12 hours a day, 24/7, and it's the one that you typically establish that relationship. And so being able to form that trust, to know that nurse is your advocate, that they're looking out for you, that you can communicate with them, and that they're forwarding your concerns to the provider and the provider team is so very important. So absolutely, from that perspective, your nurse every day makes or breaks your clinical stay.
Heidi, let's get real for a second. You win this big award. How do you celebrate? Do you guys go crazy?
So you know what? We're still it's still sinking in that it's real, and then we're already thinking about what are our next steps, right? Because this is not a destination. This is a journey. We're still on it. 5 years from now, we'll recertify, and we will continue to do that as we move forward. But how do we celebrate? Getting out to the different nursing units. We've got events in the planning right now at each of the hospitals and ambulatory, because this is all of our CAMC campuses, so Memorial, General, Women's and Children's, Taves Valley, as well as our ambulatory provider office network for CAMC. So we'll be on the road a lot because we want to see as many people as we can, because this award truly does belong to the front line, to those who do the work every day, and as you mentioned, make such a difference for our patients' lives every day.
Heidi Edwards, Charleston Area Medical Center Chief Nursing Officer, Vandalia Health Charleston Area Medical Center achieving Magnet designation from the American Nurses Credentialing Center's Magnet Recognition Program. Congratulations, Heidi, and give our best to all your nurses down there.
Thank you so much. I sure will.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Coming up, we'll get to your text at 304-TALK, 304. Phone calls, welcome as well. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. Back in a moment. This is Talkline from the Encove Insurance Studios.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. are here for you.
Every day in West Virginia, we play for something bigger.
As a mom, I play for her education.
I play because it helps provide care for the ones who care for us.
I play to help keep our parks beautiful.
Why I play? Because every play supports West Virginia's future, our students, our seniors, and our state parks. For 40 years, proceeds from the West Virginia Lottery have totaled nearly $13.7 billion. I play. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Looking for a career that truly matters? Healthcare offers stability, great benefits, and careers that are in demand right now. From patient care to technology and support roles, healthcare careers offer flexibility and opportunity. Not sure where you fit? Take the quick healthcare career quiz at explorehealthcareerswv.com. Discover the path that's right for you. Healthcare careers, where passion meets purpose.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. It makes you feel defeated. I'm just going to be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not going to be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
All the sports West Virginia is talking about.
Nikki Izzo-Brown, coach of the nationally ranked WVU women's soccer team.
I think they're just having a very good understanding of each other.
Join Kyle Wiggs, Brett Howe, and Coach Hunter weeknights for Sportsline on Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
On the next State of Minds.
I came here to Morgantown, the WVU. I wanted to play football. Tried to walk on, but I was humbled very quickly. So I joined the WVU forestry team. What my father taught me was the importance of hard work and the importance of sweat equity.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Text line is 304-TALK 304. Coming up, top of the hour, former State Supreme Court Justice Margaret Workman will join us. We'll get her thoughts on the Judicial Investigations Commission. Did I get that correct?
You did.
In the case of Judge Mary Claire Akers, former Justice Workman wasn't allowed to offer any testimony during that hearing last week, so we will provide her that opportunity. We'll talk about that coming up at 11:06. A couple of $1 million could go a long way. The Lotto America jackpot start at $2 million and grow until someone takes it home. Drawings happen every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, and with 9 ways to win, even the smaller prizes can feel like a big win. Just $1 to play. Play in store and online, 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Current jackpot is $19.47 million. Get your chance at manageable millions. 304-TALK 304. As a teacher who retired 2 years ago, I made just under $50,000. Yes, it is hard to make it. Very little sympathy, says the texter. 304 Talk 304. There is a conflict of interest. The West Virginia legislature is forcing data centers down the throats of voters who do not want another big business raping our state. Coal and lumber all over again. Let me just throw this out. I get the pushback. I really do. I get the pushback. What kind of business do we want to bring? If it's not data centers, if it's not resource extraction, okay. What kind of business do we want to bring to West Virginia to grow our economy? So we can do things like pave the roads. We can put more money into public schools. Any number of things we want to do. So what is the business that we want to bring to West Virginia? I get it. I wouldn't want one next to my house either. I totally get that. But what is the business, TJ? It's a rhetorical question, obviously.
No, and the reason it's rhetorical, it's easy to issue the complaint. It's very hard to develop the solution. And there's no solution. What's the alternative? You got to dance with who brung you, as I like to always say. And we're an energy state. And look, folks, we can either adapt or die. Face it. All of the problems we talk about, Dave, I've written about this, you've talked about it. It's a symptom. It's a symptom. We have to grow our way to prosperity. We can't cut our way to prosperity. Simple as that.
Here's where I don't want us to be in 10 or 15 years, TJ, is looking back, and we'll be, hopefully we're still at the Capitol in January and February, looking back and asking legislators, why didn't West Virginia get in on data centers 20 years ago? If you're watching, hold up my iPhone, they're not going anywhere.
No.
In fact, we've seen the projections. You've talked about them in great detail, the energy usage it's going to take. We're going to demand more from artificial intelligence. It is going to be interwoven into everything we do moving forward. That seems to be a fair prediction. So do we want to get in, or do we want to look back 20 years after the fact and go, man, missed the boat on that one again?
And we haven't even got to quantum computing yet and what that's going to entail. Get in or get out, adapt or die. We have energy here, and we have never been able to have an end user here. We've always, you think about natural gas in particular. We ship that out on the interstate gas lines, and it goes down south, ends up in Louisiana where they have manufacturing, different things. We move that gas. Here's an opportunity to use our homegrown commodity here and have the end use here where we can benefit from taxes. I will concede not a lot of jobs, relatively speaking, but the tax dollars are there. The tax dollars are there. And until someone comes up with a better idea, I'm all ears if you do, but I haven't heard it yet.
Texter says, shouldn't Speaker Hanshaw recuse himself from voting on bills that preempted local control over data center development? To be clear, this filing with the Intermediate Court was on March 16th, and if you're talking about House Bill 2014, that was more than a year ago. More than a year ago. 304 Talk 304. Simple solution: do not allow a person to vote when there is a serious ethical issue, correct or not? I mean, in theory. Full-time legislature? ? Doesn't Texas have a very large state, meet only every 2 years? That'd be better for good old West Virginia.
Yeah, that's not the answer.
Yeah, neither of us are advocating. Yeah. We're probably more in the camp of, could we do this every 2 years and be fine? Based on this session, maybe.
Let me tell you something, dude. Create a pressure cooker. Do it in 15 days. I mean, I'm fine with that if you want. So, yeah, I'm definitely the other way.
Texter says, who's getting you to start advocating for higher legislator wages, especially after the latest session? You guys must subscribe to the corporate philosophy of failing upwards. I don't think we're advocating for any higher wages. We're just simply pointing it. Here was the point. I won't speak for you. I'll speak for me. My point was this. If you want the best and brightest in Charleston, then they are going to have private interests. They're going to be successful in business. They're going to be successful attorneys and doctors and car sales, whatever the case may be. If you want those people in Charleston, then these kind of conflicts are going to arise every once in a while. If you want people who have nothing to do with anything, well, we've got some of those in Charleston too, and you can see how that happened and see how that works out.
If you work for a company, here's how it was in my last go around with a very large Fortune 500 company. If you want to do something like this, fine. They'll grant you the time off because you have to be in Charleston not only for the 60-day session, but various interim sessions. But guess what? You're not getting paid. And for many people, not all, but many people, there is a delta there, and you're leaving money on the table by leaving your employer to come to Charleston to participate in a citizen legislature. Period. So until you come up with some kind of equivalency there to make people whole, especially in the case of someone like Hanshaw, and again, I don't want to, it's not apples to apples, folks. Here's a guy that's got a PhD in chemistry, got a law degree. His earning power outside of the legislature is significantly higher than inside the legislature. It is what it is. It's the market. We paid him $49K last year. He's going to go out and get clients. He works at a firm. He's going to be assigned different clients based on his expertise. It's fair reporting. It's a fair story. They went to the ICA. He and his firm, the Intermediate Court of Appeals, disclosed it. What more do you want of the man?
I wish I had an answer for you. I wish I had an answer. But
I love asking you rhetorical questions. I mean, it's nice.
I feel like I should respond, but I don't have a good answer.
Well, I mean, it's because, look, is it politics? Let's just go there. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Why not? Is this really ethical concern here? Is this really an ethical concern, or is it a political concern? I think it's as much politics as it is ethics, but that's me.
The text line is 304-TALK, 304. Phone number is 800-765-TALK. Got to take a break. We'll wrap up the first hour and ponder TJ's rhetorical questions. They're flying all over the place this morning. We'll do that when we return. It's Talkline from the Cove Insurance Studios.
Running a small business means wearing a lot of hats, and dealing with tech problems shouldn't be one of them. CityNet helps West Virginia businesses keep their technology running smoothly, from networks and computers to backup, security, and day-to-day support. Whether you don't have IT staff or you have a small team that could use extra help, CityNet can take care of the technology or work alongside your team to fill in the gaps. With proactive monitoring, fast local support, and solutions built on CityNet's fiber network, your business stays productive instead of reactive. Call us at 1-844-CityNet to get started.
WVU Medicine Nephrology is committed to providing advanced kidney care at its primary location in Morgantown's Suncrest Town Center, and also at outreach sites in Buchanan, Clarksburg, Elkins, Fairmont, Flatwoods, Grafton, Kaiser, Moorfield, and Summersville in West Virginia, and Oakland, Maryland. Our expert team of nephrologists use the latest diagnosis and treatment methods. Call 855-WVU-CARE or visit wvumedicine.org/nephrology.
Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and
leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia. The High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just going to be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not going to be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Virginia.
Text line is 304-TALK, 304. Phone number is 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. Coming up, second hour of Metro News Talkline. Former State Supreme Court Justice Margaret Workman will stop by. A little bit later, Joe Bricado, Metro News Sports. Undoubtedly the hardest working man in sports media. We'll put a recap, put a bow on the boys basketball state tournament that wrapped up Saturday night. Two of the best games of the tournament to finish things out in Class AAA and Quad A. And the Mountaineer women's basketball team going to be playing this afternoon up at Hope Coliseum, taking on Kentucky. Record-breaking crowd over the weekend, TJ, and another packed house expected today as WVU women take on Kentucky in the NCAA tournament. Marshall women are going to be playing in the WNIT later today as well. So you just thought it was time to slow down and take it easy in sports. Not the case. All kinds of stuff happening.
It was great to see that crowd at the Coliseum. It's great to see both our major universities with their teams in the hunt. I have to tell you, Dominic Sprouse in that Quad A game Saturday night was just hot as a pistol, man.
He was the guy George Washington needed to step up. Noah Lewis is going to get his points, right? He's Noah Lewis, but you need one of the two of those other guys, and Sprouse was crucial, especially at the free throw line down the stretch. And then kind of poetically, Noah Lewis gets that dunk in double overtime that kind of sealed the game. Great effort. My favorite 2 weeks of the year. I say it every year. It's my favorite 2 weeks of the year.
Yeah, both teams played extremely well, fought it down to the line, and sometimes, you get the ball at the end and you get a few more points than the other guy, but what a great game.
So Joe Bricado will join us coming up in the second hour. More of your text as well. This is Talkline on Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. Hoppy Kercheval, 5:55 a.m. How early did you get in that day, by the way?
Probably 3:30.
How long did you do sign-on shift?
I signed on like 7 years.
Not all.
6 days a week for 7 years.
Lightweight.
I know. Couldn't do it now. Now when I wake up at 3:30 is to go to the bathroom. And go back to bed.
Welcome to the 2 o'clock hour, Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com on a Wednesday, and I apologize because Stephanie Pauly is our producer, one of the producers of the show, and normally she has everything. We have a thing we call the run sheet, when we have who we're calling and what we're doing and so on. And so, and Stephanie, I don't even know whether you know this, I did the run sheet today, and I put the wrong date on. I put 2025 on it. Because how many of us in modern day actually write the date out anymore? I mean, you did it when you were in school, you did it back when people wrote checks and whatever. This may have been the first day that I have written the date down, and I was responsible for putting together the sheet. And my co-host, the lovely and talented AB, starts the show by saying January 24th, 2025, because she read it directly off the sheet. And it is indeed the year of our Lord, 2026.
Oh, yeah, he did find something out. Something, you're related to Thomas Jefferson?
Well, no, I'm not related to Thomas Jefferson, but I am related to Samuel Kercheval, who was a historian who
I'm going to tell you something about Samuel Kercheval. Him and Jefferson out smoking corn silk. Kercheval told him, Thomas, I don't know about this country. Might want to start again.
He could.
So I don't have a monitor here, so I really can't see what happens at the beginning of the show. So at what point do I pop up? When the music starts and Mr. Announcer comes on?
Yeah.
So they see all the little panic things that I do that I'm still in the process of setting up?
Yes. They see you shuffle about uncomfortably. They see you blow the dust off your headphones. They see you put in like 2 cough drops at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I don't do 2 at the same time. Okay. All right. I don't know that. I should probably. Now, these shows are archived, right? So I can go back and watch them.
Yes.
So I could like live this show in real time and then go home and, when I say something to Linda like, hey, did you hear when I did this? And I don't watch it. Well, let's get in front of the TV and watch me do it again for 3 straight hours.
Yes, it's archived just like the audio podcast.
Ah, that's right.
And see, this is the thing that gets the NCAA in trouble. Excuse me. When it goes to court here, is there a clock or not? Greg, we talk about the clock all the time. If he began in 2019, the clock should have run out, whether he's played the 4 years or not. And that's part of the argument, because some guys go right through the clock, right? TJ Finley, we've mentioned many times on this show, 7th team coming up this year. He's playing for Incarnate Word. He's played 7 seasons at 7 different schools. Now, why hasn't his clock started? Why doesn't he have the 5-year clock? So if you're Aguilar, I get it.
He just bounced him off the ropes. Somebody save this man. Oh, my Lord. Oh. Very nice, very nice. He hit him with everything he didn't want.
10 seconds remaining.
It'll be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable, gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
Things aren't always going to be great. And sometimes, you can work really, really hard and it's still not great. You're still not successful. But, if you continue to do it, one way or another, things are going to be work out. You're going to be successful. And it may not be in the world's eyes, but, God's made us this way. He's blessed us with so many things. And I think that's one of our attributes that we need to have is we're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to work hard. And if it doesn't work out exactly how we want, just keep plugging away because God's got better plans.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Good morning. Welcome in. Second hour, MetroNews Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave in Morgantown. TJ is in Charleston. Zach Karolczyk is our video producer. Sophia Wasik handles the radio side of things. If you are listening in on our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia. Also, you can catch the show on MetroNews TV, the MetroNews TV app, Facebook Live, YouTube as well. Bottom of the hour, we'll talk cybersecurity. Also, Joe Bricato stops by, and we have a ton of text to get to. We'll try to sort through as many of those as possible. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line. You can give us a call at 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. TJ, since you wrote about it last week, the background, please, for our next guest as we prepare to bring on former State Supreme Court Justice Margaret Workman.
So this all goes back to Judge Mary Claire Akers appearing with us, Dave, on this very program, and then being called out by the Judicial Investigation Commission for what they termed as unethical. She came on this program. She talked about the child care crisis in West Virginia. She did not mention specifics on any case. And yet the JIC chose, in its wisdom or non-wisdom, depending on your point of view, to charge her with an ethical violation of the Judicial Code of Conduct. All she did was come on the show and talk about the problem and what she would do moving forward in her courtroom about it. Fast forward to last week, the Judicial Hearing Board heard that complaint, and 2 witnesses were denied the ability to testify beyond being character witnesses. One was Roger Hanshaw, who said it's important for the legislature, or planned to say, I'm told, that it was important for the legislature to hear from these voices. The second was former Supreme Court Justice Margaret Workman, who joins us on MetroNews Talkline. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Oh, sorry. We did that totally backwards, and we both
Yes, we did.
balked at the same time. Justice Workman, good morning. Thanks for joining us. What would you have told the commission had you had the opportunity to speak to them about this case involving Judge Akers?
Well, I don't know how much time you have, but there are a number of things that I was busting at the seams to get up there and say. And matter of fact, I think I jumped up there and tried to slip some of it in, but knew I couldn't. So, but one of the primary things. Well, let me preface this by saying I am not really a personal friend or a Mary Claire Akers, Judge Akers. I know her only as a judge. I know her reputation in the community amongst litigants and lawyers and just average people as being an excellent judge, a high integrity and all of that. But I did this, I didn't volunteer. I was contacted by her attorney. But I was contacted because I made a pretty extensive Facebook post when this first came out about the whole case and how I was deeply concerned about what this was going to do to chill judges in this state from really speaking on issues that matter about kids. But what I wanted to say, and this part I'll try to shortchange because I could give you an hour or two on this, is the background that I have is that 30 years in the judicial system, I worked to spearhead the growth of a body of law, both legal and administrative, which I think that was ignored during this hearing for Judge Akers, that placed not only the right, but the obligation on judges to take an active role in figuring out what was wrong with our system and fostering the rights of kids in the abuse and neglect system and facilitating, providing decent services. I could go on. We did that by administrative initiatives. And, before I got there in 1989, I think court administration at the Supreme Court was primarily keeping track of the cases and the numbers and the disposal rate and all of that. But we started in those years. First, we started something called the Broadwater Committee, and I'll try to make this quick. But that committee was chaired by the late Craig Broadwater, a wonderful judge from Wheeling, and its mission was to make reforms in the court system in response to the children's issues that we were facing and to spearhead the development of some rules governing abuse and neglect cases. Then in the 90s, that committee transitioned to the Court Improvement Committee, which took over that mission. And also at that time, there was even federal law that charged us with advocating and advancing practices and policies and laws that improve the safety, permanency, the well-being of kids in the juvenile and abuse and neglect system. Then when I was the Chief Justice in 2011, we established the Adjudicated Juvenile Rehabilitation Commission, the purpose of which was to monitor juvenile facilities and to improve those services. And that later was transitioned into the Juvenile Justice Commission, which has added to its mission was child abuse and neglect. So one of the reasons that I am very concerned about this case is that all of these decisions that we made, administrative improvements that we made, could go under. You know, we have a court now that's a very fine group of individuals, is my understanding. I don't practice law anymore, but I do try to keep in touch with what's going on. But these judges, these justices, are not steeped in the experience and the history of all the things we've done. And so I don't want to see that lost, and I don't want to see, the role of judges, which I think is vital in improving the court system for kids. I don't want to see that destroyed. What I would have said that day is those things that I just told you, but also some of the things I wanted to add. I saw this complaint as absolutely without merit. I heard the testimony while I was waiting to give my very limited testimony at the hearing, and Judge Akers really just held the interview on your radio station, and I think she may have held a proceeding where she revealed some very bad discrepancies that she had unearthed about how the child abuse and neglect system cases were being processed. She called all of the stakeholders in. She went out of her way to be cautious, to explain that she was limited by the Code of Judicial Conduct. And I just think that there was nothing that violated the rules of the Code of Judicial Conduct that she did. In fact, I closed my testimony by saying, and this was probably not within the parameters of what I was supposed to be testifying about, is that I thought she ought to get a commendation instead of a sanction.
So, Madam Justice, I have to ask you, clearly you have a long tenure and valued experience, it would seem. Why do you think, and I read the order, they said it was your opinion, and they weren't interested in your opinion. That's paraphrasing. Why do you think they denied you the opportunity to speak?
Well, the reason that the order said that they denied me the opportunity to speak was that one of my opinions at the very end was that she did not violate the Code of Judicial Conduct, and they said that was the ultimate issue, and the law did not allow me to give advice to the Judicial Hearing Board about the ultimate issue. But I had a lot of other opinions in my report, too. That wasn't the only one. And I was rather disconcerted because in the order where they denied my ability to testify on my opinions about this, they made reference to a case that talked about the integrity of the judicial process not needing hired guns to testify. Well, I'm here to tell you I'm not a hired gun. I didn't receive a penny. I did this because I care about the issue. And that, frankly, disturbed me that they would analogize my ability to testify as somebody who was a hired gun. I don't know. They seemed afraid to hear it. I don't know what it was. Maybe they don't want whoever they is, the same law clerk who assists the Judicial Disciplinary Council in formulating her decisions is the same one here on appeal who is assisting the Judicial Hearing Board. That kind of troubles me because obviously as the retained counsel for the Judicial Hearing Council, that attorney is likely going to have an interest in having the Judicial Hearing Board uphold her decisions. So you'll have to speculate on that. That's my speculation.
Former State Supreme Court Justice Margaret Workman joining us on MetroNews Talkline. We certainly want accountability. We certainly want, at least in our seats, we want transparency as well. In its current form, is this board providing that, or is it time to review how this board is structured?
I don't know that I have any real advocacy to make as to reforming the board. I think that the procedures and the rules that are in place, that always the court should be reviewing rules and procedures. But I think that they cover this situation. I just really it's almost like there's some kind of other agenda here. I'm not saying that to attack the integrity of anyone involved, but it's just puzzles me why this charge was brought. And honestly, the charge initially, when I was first presented with it, included all kinds of things like that Judge Akers shouldn't have told about her former experience as prosecutor, that it was biased for her against the Department of Human Services for her to have this hearing. And then when we ultimately got to the case, they talked about those things, but in the order precluding me from testifying, the order said that the only issue was whether the underlying case that caused her to take this action, whether it was pending or not. And to me, that's clear. The case that she heard that led to the judicial disciplinary sanction for having a subsequent hearing trying to create some monitoring reform for juvenile cases in general, that case was over. It was over quite some time before.
I have to ask you, by the letter of the law, in your legal opinion, if the complaint here is without merit, there's no ethical violation, why file it? Is it politics? Is it some kind of vendetta against judges who are willing to shine lights on issues? I'm struggling to understand here.
As I said, it mystified me as well because perhaps the Judicial Disciplinary Council isn't steeped in the law. I'm just speculating here, relating to all of the administrative initiatives that the court has had over the last few years. For example, the Juvenile Justice Commission, one of the primary roles of that, and I appointed it with the court's approval, was to get in collaboration all over the state with citizens, with social workers, with other judges. They met, they held public forums, and that is exactly what Judge Akers was doing. And here, I just hope that the present state Supreme Court, not having the history of all that has gone before, if this matter, if the Judicial Disciplinary Council is upheld by the Judicial Hearing Board, and if there is an appeal to the state Supreme Court, then it's going to be in the lap of the Supreme Court. And just to interject one thing, the court has changed so much. There was the big impeachment thing back in the 420, I don't remember what year that was, 18 or something, 16, 18. But I was the only judge on the court left standing after the dust cleared on that, between resignations and people who engaged in wrongdoing. And then the new court came on, and I continued to serve with them. And quite honestly, the new court, I thought, was excellent. And we didn't agree on a lot of other issues, but they were excellent with respect to learning about the child abuse system and continuing the initiatives that we started. But, with resignations, retirements, and unfortunately, Justice Armistead's death, and he was a wonderful person. Today's present-day court is not steeped in the historical knowledge of the court's role in the protection of kids when it comes before the courts. And I don't mean just the protection and the hearing of that kid. I mean this whole role of the court in having administrative initiatives in collaboration with others to protect kids and to make sure that policies, children don't have lobbyists. Mm-hmm. Most interest groups have lobbyists. Abused kids do not have a lobbyist to go to the legislature and seek their fair share of the resources. And if the courts, the judges who see, oh my gosh, since the drug problems occurred a number of years back, I hear every circuit judge I've ever talked to talk about how they are covered up with abuse and neglect cases. And they only see the, the tip of the iceberg of what's down there. So,
Your Honor, we're short on time. I do want to ask you one question before we go.
No,
you're fine.
Emotional about
I know you
this.
do. That's fine. I do want to ask you one question. I believe you're still considered a senior status judge. Are you worried at all that the JIC may want to penalize you for coming on this program and sharing your thoughts today?
Oh, I did not apply for senior status. When I was done, I was done. I'm now working real actively on animal shelter things and other personal goals that, so I don't have any concern about that at all.
Former State Supreme Court Justice Margaret Workman, good to speak to you again, and thank you for offering your perspective on this issue. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Coming up, we'll get to some of your texts, 304-TALK, 304. We'll talk cybersecurity, bottom of the hour. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Welcome back, class of 2011. Most likely to be a millionaire, didn't quite make it.
Hey, reunion's not over yet.
Over here, millionaires.
Smile.
Make room, people.
Who is that?
Congratulations to our very own Millionaire for Life!
Never too late, man.
You could win up to $1 million every year with Millionaire for Life. Play in store or online today. West Virginia Lottery. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
If you have a child who's a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone that does, please listen up. Here's your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline is May 3rd. For details, go to wvmetronews.com to apply. That's wvmetronews.com. Remember, application deadline is May 3rd.
Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Stay connected to what's happening today in West Virginia.
What about this, or what about that? And it just went back and forth. And I was just the guy reading the text. Okay, so what's your take on the whole thing?
Well, now you just get me fired up. Now
right.
you just
So I'm gonna turn on. I'm gonna run down to Wendy's and grab a burger, and I'll be back.
Join Dave Allen weekdays for midday on Metro News Television.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just gonna be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not gonna be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
On the next State of Minds.
I came here to Morgantown, the WVU. I wanted to play football. Tried to walk on, but I was humbled very quickly. So I joined the WVU forestry team. What my father taught me was the importance of hard work and the importance of sweat equity.
When you choose CityNet, you are choosing a 100% West Virginia-owned internet provider with local support, no call centers, no runaround, just fast support, dependable fiber internet backed by people who live and work right here. Plus, new residential customers can get 50% off any internet plan for a year. Visit citynet.net today. We want to talk about cybersecurity. Coming up, Marshall's Institute for Cybersecurity is hosting a 2-day operational technology security training coming up in April. We're going to tell you about that at the bottom of the hour. 304 Talk, 304 the text line. Let's get to some of those texts. So to use your logic, we don't currently have the best and brightest as delegates, senators, and governor, as the current pay is too low. That wasn't my point.
Nice try.
The point is, if you want the people who are successful in business and successful professionally, personally, then you got to let them do their thing when they're not at the Capitol. That was my point, very, very simply put. Because I don't think anybody's going to jump on the we need to pay lawmakers more bandwagon anytime soon. And I'm not advocating it, certainly. 304 Talk, 304. Handshake is just I believe that's supposed to be Hanshaw. It's just another example of requiring elected officials wear apparel like NASCAR with logos of corporations which owns them. Jesus said it's impossible for a person to serve two masters or love one, hate the other. West Virginia citizens electing their own slave masters only continue their enslavement, says the texter. Guys, all the proposed data centers are not the same. It's harder to argue against data centers in Coalfield counties. A data center in Davis and Thomas, one of the crown jewels of West Virginia's natural beauty, is not the same. There's a screenshot attached to this one. But the texter asked the question, does West Virginia have a fundamental problem understanding the question of what businesses we do want here? Where's the money coming from to fix water, to pay for public schools, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? I think we asked that question. What do we want? All right, we don't want this, we don't want that, we don't want this. How do we want to generate revenue to fix roads, to pay for public schools? Again, more rhetorical questions here on a Monday.
Rhetorical, but they make a point.
Right.
A valued point. I don't understand it. I mean, I don't know. I guess we're going to sell ice cream cones on the side of the street, and maybe that'll generate prosperity, but...
Oh, somebody would be upset about that. The lemonade people, the lemonade lobby would be upset about that.
Why do you guys only have 3 flavors? Why don't you have blah, 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 blah? You know, it's so easy to complain is my point. But, you know, if you're going to come with a complaint, just to be candid, it's so much more, it's so better received, I'll put it that way, if you've got an idea to fix it. And that's not just the show. That's life, man. I mean, that's anything in general.
Texter says, maybe I didn't hear the full context of your comment. Best and brightest in Charleston for 60 days? What are you talking about? Machine gun legislation? What about fixing CPS, PEIA, state workers, and teachers? Asks the texter. My point, again, if you want the best and brightest, you want the people who are in business. If you want people in Charleston who have zero conflict of interest because they're not involved in anything at all as far as business and successful careers, you know what? That's the kind of legislation you're going to get.
I'm going to start canning and recording all of the little sound bites that you make and I make and be like, let's go to the tape, folks, and hear what they really said.
Go to the tape. All right. Coming up, we're going to talk cybersecurity. That's always an issue. Marshall's going to be hosting an event coming up in April. We'll tell you about that coming up. It is 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Chris Lawrence. A constitutional amendment to raise the homestead exemption will have to wait another year. The House voted for a resolution early in the session to put the amendment on the ballot in November. Currently, the exemption is $20,000, which was set in 1982. The Senate amended the resolution to raise it to $50,000, but the House, on the final day, never took up the amended resolution. Senate Finance Committee Chairman Jason Barrett.
I have several members of the House and in leadership roles over there, and just never got an answer all day long regarding the constitutional amendment on the homestead exemption.
The exemption would have cost counties and school boards millions of dollars in tax revenue. However, county commissions and the school boards could have also chosen to raise their tax levy rates to make up the difference. The legislature did approve child care legislation. House Bill 4191 now needs only the governor's signature to be enacted. It increases tax credits to employers and offers child care subsidies and protections to parents. Amy Jo Hudson with the Moms Rising Group says it's a critical need.
It doesn't matter what your profession is. If you're a doctor, you could be a brain surgeon. If you're a retail clerk, you need child care if you're going to be a working parent. And I think that sometimes we get caught up in just these big words like economic development and workforce development, and we really forget about what makes those things happen.
And her group is urging the governor to sign that bill. You're listening to Metro News, for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Come on, Liam, let's go. Get open. Come on, go for it. Wake up. Wake up, Liam. Oh, come on, use your head. Gotta want it. Dominate.
There he goes again. Liam's dad yelling from the stands, trying to relive his glory days.
I know. We're just trying to have fun out here and play with our friends. Like, it's not that deep.
He seriously needs to get a grip.
Does he really think he's helping Liam play better?
I feel bad for Liam. I know he's embarrassed his dad ruins every game like this. I mean, I would be too.
Someone needs to tell him this isn't about him.
Yeah, stop trying to coach from the stands and just cheer.
That's what Liam wants.
That's what we all want.
Be your student's biggest fan, not their biggest critic. This message presented by the WVSSAC and the West Virginia Athletic Directors Association.
The Governor's Highway Safety Program has announced the Drive to Save Lives campaign. Speaker Kara Filler will visit several West Virginia schools throughout March and April, sharing her powerful message. Filler lost her twin sister in a high-speed car wreck the day before she turned 18 and says she's dedicated most of her life in these past 20 years to youth advocacy and trying to explain to them how to navigate peer pressure and making life-saving choices behind the wheel. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
Joe Mercado joins us a couple of minutes from now. We'll put a bow on the high school basketball state tournament that wrapped up at the Charleston Coliseum on Saturday. And we'll talk some Mountaineer women's hoops. They'll be taking on Kentucky in the second round of the NCAA tournament later today over at Hope Coliseum. Cybersecurity, it's always an issue, especially now with more going on in the Middle East. There have been more cyber attacks escalating since the onset of the Iranian war. Marshall University's Institute for Cybersecurity will host a 2-day operational technology security training on April 14th and 15th in the Huntington area. Alex Donathan is the executive director of the Institute for Cybersecurity at Marshall University, and she joins us on MetroNews Talkline this morning. Alex, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So, kind of put this into some perspective for us. Since the military operations have started in Iran several weeks ago, how much of an escalation has there been in cyber attacks?
So the cyber attacks, especially within our critical infrastructure, which is what this training will focus on, has definitely increased. And this is a personal opinion of mine, I define cyber as a warfighting domain. So not in just the traditional kinetic sense, but being able to do and distract and make traditional warfighting a little bit more difficult to accomplish when you're focusing on your critical infrastructure at home. With that, the attacks are, I would say, definitely ramping up. Our critical infrastructure is not a traditional war space. It's not a traditional network to be able to attack, but it is being attacked more frequently given not only the crisis. However, I would say this crisis just ramped it up. We've been getting attacked in our critical infrastructure sectors for years. Dating back most prominently, I think, when we had our water treatment facilities were hacked, we have telecom systems hacked, and we have a lot of our energy sector being attacked as well. So I would say it's definitely ramped up. However, it is not something that is brand new or a new vector for them.
Does critical infrastructure go beyond the big three that you just noted there?
It does. There's actually 16 sectors, and I apologize for not memorizing all of them, but I'll at least give you the ones that we're focusing on in the ICS. So there's the energy sector, there's the water and wastewater sector, there's transportation, and we focus on that with railroads and our drone program. There's healthcare, there's finance, there's a website I can give you to go to see the quite focusing on, but I apologize there. But yes, anything that we rely on, down to our food, down to our energy, any sort of transportation system, those all do fall within their own critical infrastructure sector.
We're talking to Alex Donathan, Executive Director, Institute for Cybersecurity at Marshall University. Is it naive to think if you are the city administrator in a little town in West Virginia, maybe you're city manager of Morgantown. Let's pick on Morgantown, one of my favorite things to do. But your city manager, hey, nobody wants to attack our water infrastructure in Morgantown. Nobody wants to attack our transportation. Would that be naive to think that way?
It is, and I don't mean that in an offensive way. Critical infrastructure is typically run by those smaller counties or what we call a mom and pop or anything that may not have ever been trained on cybersecurity. Historically, we just haven't put the two together. However, information technology and operational technology do combine in a very real way, and especially in an age that we're getting to a more digital life. Everything at this point is up for grabs. So I wouldn't say that it is a bad thing. It just needs a little bit more education. And that's one of the avenues that we're trying to take in the ICS is educate not only the growing workforce, but the current workforce, where cybersecurity hasn't been something that's been followed on. But as an example to why they should care, I think they had that same mindset in Littletown, Massachusetts, when that water facility was actually hacked by Chinese actors. So you don't care until you have to care type of thing. So we're trying to make sure people don't have to care, but they're informed.
Is it primarily the Chinese? Is that the biggest threat? Russians? Who's involved? Are these state actors? Are they independent groups? Who's actually trying to do the hacking here?
I would say, I mean, the state actors for the one in Littletown, I believe that is what was up there. I don't have the full report on that, but then there are, given the introduction of artificial intelligence, this can be someone in someone's basement that just gets really curious on how to be able to attack these. I would say the longer, more methodical attacks definitely would belong to a nation state actor given the amount of resources they have by their nation, but I can't say it's one more than the other. There is a lot of really good unclassified reporting put out by CISA, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, about Chinese nation state actors ramping up over the last few years within our critical infrastructure.
Why is our critical infrastructure particularly vulnerable to cyber attack?
Historically, it has been presumed secure. With the fact that if it's properly segmented, properly not touching the network or anything along those lines, or if it's just an actual facility that doesn't have anything digital there, there's really not much to hack other than someone that works in the facility possibly going in and doing anything malicious. So more of an insider threat. Now that we're moving to an age where there's a lot of remote capability to be able to administer commands or any sort of treatment or any sort of updates, that introduces risk and that introduces vulnerability. So as we get to an age where we're more digital and we're doing that more for the operational aspects of those systems, we tend to, if we're not trained on it, forget about the cybersecurity aspect as well. So as you make things easier for you in a digital environment, you're also introducing risk. And that's where we're trying to educate the current workforce to understand the risk that they are administering into their environment and then properly help segment and protect that as we move out.
I don't think you would advocate for this, but what I heard you say is that the exposure grows as we digitize. Would you ever advocate for more of an analog approach on critical infrastructure, or is that just denying ourselves the benefit of technology?
I think it's both. I mean, coming with a security mindset, staying analog might be helpful, but then you're not going to be not going to have the most up-to-date capabilities within being able to produce the best, say, if it's a water facility, being able to get after the amount of things that you need to accomplish for the city or the town or the county that you need to in a faster way. The analog way, if it's secure because it's slow, it's secure because it can't be touched. However, the digital way does allow you to get after a lot of things in a faster way with technically less people. However, those people do need to be properly trained.
The event is coming up on April 14th and 15th. It's an operational technology security training with Marshall University's Institute for Cybersecurity. So who is the event intended for, and how can they get registered to attend?
There is a link. So if you go to marshall.edu/cyber, with on there in our training tab, we do have a link to register. Where that the training is meant for anyone. I would say this one is meant for more executive leaders, but it does not have to be. But we're going after municipal leaders, city, county administrators, public work executives, CIOs, technology directors, anyone within the critical infrastructure realm. It can be the directors, the safety, security, risk compliance officers, public sectors, cybersecurity professionals in general. This course is intended to give a higher level overview to the individuals that have to manage those systems versus the technical individuals. If we see success with this course, like we're hoping that we do, then we're going to put a 3-day course on for those hands-on technical administrators as well.
Is there a registration deadline?
It's within 3 weeks, and if we don't hit a certain number by 2 weeks prior, then we might have to push it. So I would say by the end of this month, if not the first week of April.
It's coming up April 14th and 15th. It is with the Marshall University Institute for Cybersecurity, hosting a 2-day operational technology security training. Alexandria Donathan, Executive Director, Institute for Cybersecurity at Marshall University. Thank you so much for the insights. We appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Coming up, Joe Bricado will join us. We'll put a bow on the high school basketball season. Plus, Mountaineers getting ready to take on Kentucky in the women's NCAA basketball tournament. We'll talk about that right after this.
For over 30 years, High Technology Foundation has been committed to building a stronger West Virginia. Our mission, economic diversification. By fostering innovation and supporting tech initiatives, we pave the way for a brighter future. From cutting-edge research to tech-driven solutions, we're transforming the landscape. Join us in creating opportunities and driving progress. Let's build a diverse economy together. Visit WVHTF.org. High Technology Foundation, shaping West Virginia's future.
Looking for a career that truly matters? Healthcare offers stability, great benefits, and careers that are in demand right now. From patient care to technology and support roles, healthcare careers offer flexibility and opportunity. Not sure where you fit? Take the quick healthcare career quiz at explorehealthcareerswv.com. Discover the path that's right for you. Healthcare careers, where passion meets purpose.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
With Metro News Hotline. If it's trending, it's probably here.
And then the other thing, his last name is one of those weird Norwegian names where they have two vowels that slam into each other. It's like the A and the E are like cemented into each other.
You're like the 12th Dave that works here. What do you think people from Norwegian think about that?
That is fair.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
May not feel like boat weather now. Did yesterday. My goodness, was it warm yesterday. But won't be long before the weather breaks and you'll be spending your weekends out on the water, or you will be wishing you were out on the water. So go to LuendoMarineSales.com right now. Get an early starts on boating season with great deals on pontoon and fishing boats. Check out the entire inventory at LewindoMarineSales.com. Lewindow Marine Sales, we sell family fun. Saturday wrapped up the boys basketball state tournament. We had George Washington, Chapmanville, Wheeling Central, and Tug Valley winning titles in their respective classes. We have complete coverage over at the website, WVMetroNews.com. Joining us in studio this morning is the man who generated a good portion of that content. He is the hardest working man in sports media, Joe Braccato. Good morning, Joe.
As usual, respectfully, and with all due respect, you embellish.
Only a tad.
But thank you.
Only a tad.
Again, Greg Carey does the heavy lifting with the written stories. I'm just the video nerd, emphasis on the nerd part.
Joe, I thought from start to finish, this may have been one of the deepest fields across the classifications that we've seen, at least in the last few years. We had 2-7 great games. We had great games with 1-8 matchups. I thought this was a very deep field, and the tournament really shined this year.
Yeah, you talk about the 2-7 game, and I assume you're referring to the Class AAA game between a North Marion team that ended up playing their way to the championship game and gave Chapmanville a great run. They needed a basket with 2.5 seconds left to defeat Shady Spring and then have a shot from Shady miss out at the buzzer just to get all the way into the semifinal round. And I think you saw, once we got to Saturday, all of the championship games, and Tug Valley won by 10 over Greater Beckley Christian, Wheeling Central won by 16 over Wyoming East, but those were all close games at halftime. The halftime scores, Class A game was tied, Class AA game was a 1-point game, and obviously we saw with Chapmanville and North Marion, GW, Spring Mills going all the way down to the wire.
Quad A, just a great game. Joe, your thoughts on that?
A tremendous game, and it had to be that way between George Washington and Spring Mills after the game they gave us last year, which was a 3-point game won by Spring Mills. Going into that game, you kind of wondered, who would help out with George Washington in the scoring production department, help out Noah Lewis, who was tremendous in the first 2 games and instrumental in GW getting to the final. Well, Dom Sprouse really elevated his game for the Patriots. A sophomore, led all scorers in the game with 28 points. Spring Mills got better than their regular season contributions from Kenneth Stovall. He was tremendous throughout the entire tournament, but in the end, GW just able to find the extra baskets in that second overtime to get the win.
If you're watching on the MetroNews TV app, you just saw the Noah Lewis dunk. I love how sports, Joe, has this way of kind of giving you the moment, and that was the moment. Noah Lewis, the senior, kind of the heartbeat of this team. He gets the dunk that puts his team kind of ahead for good there and seals the championship. You got to love sports.
And now the question – very true. And now the question going forward is, who is the state player of the year? Noah Lewis is obviously a prime candidate, the defending state player of the year, and Eli Sancombe from Wheeling Central. I don't know how you choose between those two when the stats are similar. The team's success was there for both. They're both headed to Division I schools. There is some precedent for co-player of the year. We had that a couple years ago on the girls' side with Alexis Bordas from Wheeling Park and Ashley Van Tassel from Cameron to the West Virginia Sports Writers Association who vote on that. It's a very, very difficult decision to have to make.
Talk to us a little bit about Sancombe. I watched he and Wheeling Central take on Wayne. At one point, he had more points than the entire Wayne squad. I think toward the end of the third quarter. Special kid.
And I think covering a regular season game with Wheeling Central at some point during February, Wheeling Central's head coach Mel Stevens said, basically Eli could probably score, if he wanted to, could score, 30 or 35 a game every game, but he enjoys getting all of his teammates involved and to contribute not only to scoring the basketball, but also contributing in other ways. And the fact that in the first game against Frankfurt, he was 1 rebound shy of a triple-double in the first half, had double-doubles in every single state tournament game, 41 against Wayne. What more can you say about? I mean, you're talking about one of the better players that have come through the state of West Virginia, not only this year, but in recent years with what he was able to do in leading that team. And he's got tremendous talent around him. I mean, Max Oliage as a number 2 option, you're not going to find many number 2 options better than that kid.
He had a very sweet touch pass, I noticed, too, in that game against Wayne that a lot of players don't have these days. I mean, he was very, very sweet at that.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how he profiles at the next level. He's playing Division I ball at Liberty University, and 2 different games I had a chance to cover at Wheeling Central this year. The Liberty coaching staff was able to be in attendance for both of those. So they are obviously very, very high on him and what he can add to that program in the coming years.
You know how we settle this Player of the Year dispute?
How do we do that?
One-on-one. We'll put it on Metro News Television. One-on-one, Sancombe versus Lewis.
It's interesting you say that because there's some states, and I say this because I'm from Rhode Island, and Rhode Island has added this in recent years. They have their state championships with each of the 4 classes, but then they have an open state championship afterwards where you qualify for that separate and additional tournament. Wouldn't it be kind of fun? I'm not saying that Wheeling Central would beat any of the other teams involved, but wouldn't it be fun to put Wheeling Central and George Washington and throw Chapmanville and Tug Valley in there too and just have them hammer it out?
You know what I'm thinking, TJ?
What's that, Bub?
Senate Bill 1 next year.
Well, that's what they do in Kentucky. We've talked about it. That's what they do in Kentucky. But I would be remiss, guys, and Bricado just brings it out in you, Dave. This sounds like a perfect ranked choice voting system when it comes to the Player of the Year.
You can get all of the coverage from the boys basketball state tournament. It's all archived at WVMetroNews.com. And I believe you can watch all 4 of the championship games as well. Joe is nodding in agreement over on the Metro News TV app. All right, Joe, let's turn our attention toward Hope Coliseum later today. WV women's basketball will take on Kentucky after a convincing first-round win. Take on the Wildcats, 5 o'clock tip-off. Break this one down for us.
And this has been the spot, Dave, and there have been some excellent teams that have come through the WVU women's basketball program in recent years. Mike Carey, for everything he did in really taking this program to another level, this was the round where the Mountaineers just have not been able to get past the second round and to get into the Sweet 16. The Mountaineers did that in 1992, but it wasn't under the current structure where you had 64 and then later 68 teams. So this is a little bit different. And the biggest advantage, obviously, that they have now in recent years, they have not had this second round game at home. They have that tonight. Program record crowd on Saturday, expecting the same tonight. 5 o'clock start against a Kentucky team that probably thought that up until late in the year that they might have been a team that was going to be hosting NCAA tournament play. Ultimately, West Virginia gets the number 4 seed over them and with it hosting rights.
Joe, a few thoughts on how big this is, not only for the town, but for the state.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, I think you've seen in recent years programs on the ascent. We've seen it with WVU baseball, and when a team is being able to become a consistent winner, get into NCAA tournaments, make deep runs into NCAA tournaments. You know, baseball season ticket sales increased tremendously last year, much as expected the same this year. Men's soccer gets to the College Cup a couple of years ago, and you see the bump that program gets. You would expect that if this WVU women's basketball team, under the tremendous leadership of their third-year head coach and Mark Kellogg, if they're able to get to the Sweet 16, play Texas in Fort Worth coming up on Saturday, that's a spot that with this team can really, really build from, regardless of what happens the rest of the way.
Hey, I'll tell you how big this is, TJ. They started filling potholes up here because of the tournament.
No, I heard that. I heard they were out doing beautification work. Don't get me started. It is great, though, for the city. It's great for the state, the school, the kids. I mean, everybody wins in this.
So should Mark Kellogg get a bonus for the fact that the potholes are now being filled with what his team did?
I think
I'd be fine with that.
There should be something in that. There should be language in the contract.
Performance incentive.
Yes, absolutely. All right, you'll be over at Hope Coliseum this afternoon?
Yep, Greg Carey and myself, 5 o'clock start, ESPN2.
And we will have highlights and a full recap over at the website, WVMetroNews.com. Again, boys basketball recaps, highlights, everything from the postseason over at the website. And you can watch all 4 games in their entirety on the Metro News TV app. Joe, congratulations making it through another tournament. Well done, and good luck up at the Coliseum today.
Much appreciated. Looking forward to it.
Back to wrap it up in a moment.
Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
Worried about paying for college? MetroNews is proud to present the 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to wvmetronews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to wvmetronews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just gonna be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not gonna be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
A couple of million can go a long way. The Lotto America jackpots start at $2 million and grow until somebody takes it home. Drawings happen every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And with 9 ways to win, even the smaller prizes can feel like a big win. Just $1 to play, in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Current jackpot is $19.47 million. Get your chance at manageable millions. That's going to do it for us today. Follow the news of the day over at the website, wvmetronews.com. Coming up on many of these same Metro News radio stations, Metro News Midday with Dave Allen and Amanda Barron. TJ, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Look forward to it.
This is Talkline on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.